Welcome! Today, we are cracking open one of the most ambitious blueprints ever made, Dante Alighieri's map of the entire afterlife.
So let's just jump right in. Imagine for a second that you had to design a physical map from morality itself. A place for every single virtue, every sin, every human action. Where would you even start?
Well, Dante, our master architect here, he started with numbers. Specifically, the number 3 for the Holy Trinity and 9, which is just 3 squared. These two numbers are the symbolic bedrock for his entire moral universe. It's kind of brilliant.
All right, so here's the plan. We're going to take a journey in 3 parts. We're going to start at the bottom, looking at the consequences of sin, then climb our way up through purification, and finally arrive at the state of pure divine being.
And look, the key thing to get right away is that this is not just some random tour of what happens after you die. No way. It's a carefully, meticulously ordered climb, and each realm, hell, purgatory, and paradise, has its own unique and fascinating logic.
Okay, let's start where everyone starts, in the most famous part of the map, the Inferno. The entire structure of hell is built on one single, absolutely brilliant principle.
And that principle is this: contrapasso. It basically means counter-punishment. The big idea here is that how you sinned in life directly, and I mean literally, dictates how you're going to suffer for all eternity.
You see, Dante's hell gets worse the deeper you go. With our guide, the poet Virgil, we're going to descend through 3 main kinds of sin. First up is incontinence. These are the sins of passion, right? Where your desires just totally overwhelm your reason. Deeper still, you've got violence. And then, at the very, very bottom, you find fraud. For Dante, this was the absolute worst, because it's about twisting our greatest gift, human reason, and using it for pure evil.
And this is where you really see that contrapasso idea come to life. The lustful, who were swept away by their passions, well, now they're just blown about forever by these restless, violent winds. The gluttonous, who couldn't control their appetites, now they just wallow in disgusting filth like pigs. And the greedy, the avaricious, obsessed with stuff, they spend eternity endlessly pushing these massive, heavy boulders. The punishment is a perfect, twisted reflection of the crime.
But like I said, for Dante, nothing is worse than fraud. It's the ultimate betrayal of our intellect. And he even splits it into 2 categories. You've got simple fraud, which is like deceiving a stranger. Bad, for sure. But then there's treacherous fraud. This is deceiving someone you have a special bond with, family, your country, a guest. This, for Dante, is the absolute lowest of the low, because it breaks the sacred bond of love and twists reason to its most evil end.
Okay, take a deep breath. We're leaving the endless darkness of hell behind. We have arrived at the base of this huge mountain. This is purgatory, and let me tell you, the rules here are completely different.
Because the whole point of this place isn't punishment, it's purification. See, hell punishes you for what you did, your evil actions. But purgatory is here to fix who you are, to purge those evil habits. It's not eternal, it's temporary, it's a place of hope. So what's the logic here? It all comes down to one powerful idea: reordering disordered love. You see, for Dante, love is the engine behind everything, good and bad. It's the seed of every virtue, but also every vice. The whole goal of purgatory is to get that love recalibrated, to point it back in the right direction, towards God.
And the structure reflects this perfectly. The whole place is an upward climb with 7 terraces. On each level, souls work to purge one of the 7 deadly sins. But they don't do it through punishment. They do it by practicing the opposite virtue. So, pride is healed by humility, envy is cured by charity, wrath by gentleness, and so on, all the way up the mountain.
All right, after all that hard work of purification, we finally get to ascend into paradise. And here, in this realm of pure light and love, the whole structure changes again. It's less about what you do and all about your state of being, your closeness to God.
This quote from the opening of Paradiso really says it all. The glory of God permeates everything, but it glows in one part more and in another less. This is the key to understanding heaven. Everyone there is perfectly, completely happy, but each soul is unique. Each one reflects God's light in its own way, according to its own capacity to receive that love. And the structure of the heavens reflects this moral order. The entire cosmos is organized by virtue. The different planetary spheres are linked to the 4 great cardinal virtues. So you'll find the souls who are wise and prudent in the sphere of the sun,
the courageous warriors for God in Mars, and the just rulers in Jupiter. It's just incredible.
So, we've been through hell, climbed the mountain of purgatory, and soared through the heavens. After this absolutely incredible journey, what's the big takeaway from Dante's grand design?
Well, I think the timeless power of the Divine Comedy is this amazing vision of a totally coherent moral universe. He created a cosmos where sin is basically a failure of reason, where getting better is all about reordering your love, and where heaven is simply being in perfect unity with the divine. Everything has a place, and everything makes sense according to this deep, profound logic.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, right? It's been 700 years. If a genius like Dante were to map our world today, what would he see? What would our modern virtues and vices look like in his blueprint? Something to think about. That's it for this explainer.